Hello, everybody. Eric here with a weekly wrap up for September 14th through September 20th. On my channel, on Monday, I believe I posted a review for Summer Never Ends 2 God's Mistake by Judith Sonnet. On Friday was Chud Lives, a tribute anthology compiled by Eric S. Brown, edited by Joe Meinhardt. And that book was the first of the latest book bundle that I'm doing, which is 5 books in a row that are all anthologies based on intellectual properties. If you'd like to check out those reviews, and I hope you want to check those out, well, please do. I didn't think that sentence through. If you're interested in those reviews, please check out the videos. And on Wednesday was my reading remembrances for the books I read in May of 2008. And that was it as far as videos go, and my weekly wrap up. That sort of goes without saying. Work, nothing really going on. We were actually pretty busy until Friday, and but we got a bunch of stuff done. We had to have a meeting. There are problems with the workflow, but you know, we just keep on keeping on. So I did not watch anything really. I see that Superman, the new James Gunn Superman movie, is on HBO Max, and I may watch that this weekend, or I may spend my time reading. And speaking of reading, this past week I finished, and I'm pretty sure this was after my weekly wrap up for last week. I finished reading Midian Unmade, Tales of Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Again, part of the book bundle, obviously, an anthology of based on an intellectual property. And I also finished Alien vs. Predator, Ultimate Prey, which is an anthology of Alien vs. Predator stories. And I have started a book whose dust jacket I've taken off, but it's the end of the world as we know it. New Tales of Stephen King's The Stand. And I've read the foreword and the introduction. I've not started on any of the stories yet. That is a big honkin' book, over 700 pages. I'll be recording reviews for Midian Unmade and Alien vs. Predator Ultimate Prey as soon as I finish this video. And hopefully next Saturday I'll be recording a review for the Stephen King anthology. If I can get it done. So that's what I've been reading. Now, what have I been buying? I think that's what everybody comes to these things for. And I picked up a few things here and there, but I'm like, I don't need to show everybody everything. I got a nice Godzilla figure. It's over there. And I got this Star Wars figure. They've been doing these spooky, the Black Legends, I think is what the series is called. And I got this sort of mummy stormtrooper. It's like a stormtrooper, but he's got like green skin and stitches in some of the exposed areas, but he's also wrapped up in cloth. And it came with a little vampire looking porg. And he's over there. And you know what? I have a couple books that are hopefully arriving soon from Encyclopocalypse. I ordered Sleepaway Camp novelization and the Plan 9 from Outer Space novelization. So, waiting for those to arrive. I did pick up some comic book stuff. Deadpool Batman just came out. Marvel and DC playing nice. So it's a one-shot. This one came from Marvel. Deadpool and Batman teaming up, and then there's a bunch of really short stories at the end of this with like Crypto the Superdog and Jeff the Landshark team up. I believe there's a Wonder Woman Captain America um, Daredevil and Green Arrow, maybe. I don't remember what all of them are, but I picked that up, and then in a couple of months, DC will be putting out Batman Deadpool. But the thing I was really excited about was something that was it was on the shelf. It was on a wire rack behind the counter. I asked them to hold it for me because a couple of weeks ago when I was at the comic shop, I had paid for everything before I saw this. And I was like, well, just hold it and I'll get it the next time I'm there. It's up there, but I'm going to show you on my phone. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. Reflections. How do I avoid the reflected light? This is Savage Fists of Kung Fu Treasury Edition. $1.50. It's the cover price back in the 70s. This is one of the big, I can't even show you in the screen, big Treasury editions that reprints. It's got Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, Sons of the Tiger. But I used to love those Treasury editions, and I had a ton of them when I was younger. I was very excited to grab that. Now, I picked up a couple games at the game shop, but the one I want to share, the one that I think would be of most interest to people who watch my channel, is something that I had seen online. I had it bookmarked. I never considered that my local game store might have these, and they have a ton of these. It just came out, and this is 365 Adventures Cthulhu 1926, but it's for the year 2026. It's from Pandasaurus, and it's a game that, well, it's for one player, ages 14 and up, and the time it takes to play it is 365 days. Play all year round for 2 minutes a day. So it's a calendar for 2026, and there's 5 dice, and there's this magnetic piece. Actually, the front piece is not magnetic. There's a piece that goes on the back, so the magnetic piece is behind the page. The metal piece goes in front of the page. So you mark the day that you're on, and you basically, there are these challenges on each day where you need to roll a certain number and a certain symbol to beat that mission. I mean, it's very simple, and it's Yahtzee style. You can roll 3 times. And then on Sunday is the only day you have to do on Sunday. The other days of the week, like if it's Tuesday, I can still do any of the missions Monday through Saturday. I just have to do Sunday on Sunday. For each mission that you complete before you get to Sunday, you can take a point off the number you need to roll on Sunday, if that makes sense. So 5 or 6, excuse me. You could conceivably subtract 6 from your goal on Sunday. On the black dice, there's a Cthulhu symbol, and if you roll that, if that's in your final roll, part of your final roll, you have to mark off on a madness chart. And if at the end of the month that entire madness thing is filled in, you lose 5 points for the month. And then for January, there's a rule book, tells you how to play for January. So when you flip over to February, on the back of January, it gives you new stuff for what you need to do in February, and then etc. for every month. And you do it 365 days. Anyway, so you're playing an investigator in Arkham, Massachusetts, or maybe Innsmouth. Nope, you're in Arkham, and I guess you're going to get allies and stuff. Again, it tells you not to look ahead, but they're not the boss of you. You can look ahead if you want. I'm not going to. And there's even a community online. You can go to the site, register, keep track of how you're doing, and every month they're going to release free wallpapers for your phone and all sorts of stuff. So it just seems really, really cool. So, if you're interested, check it out. It was $20 at my local game store. So I got that. Very excited about that. And then I got this book that's very, very heavy. I'm trying to put it under the camera so you don't see it yet. So, I have some nonfiction books. And I'm looking right over here, and I see Taking Shape, which is all about the making of the Halloween movies, up to the point where the book came out. So I don't think it has any of the new trilogy, the David Gordon Green movies. There is a Taking Shape 2. I think I just mentioned this last week as well. That's all about unmade Halloween movies. I don't have that, but I definitely want to get that. I have Phantasm Exhumed, all about the making of the Phantasm movies. The Hellraiser films and their, I think, legacy. I can't see the entire spine of that book. All about the Hellraiser movies. Reign of Chucky, all about the Child's Play movies. And then there is Slash of the Titans, which is about just about Freddy versus Jason. And I have Further Exhumed, which is a little book that's about I believe it's about the Phantasm movie that came out after Phantasm Exhumed was published. I just got the brand new book about making all the Scream movies. I saw there's a number of books about making the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And I saw the one that I would like to get. It's from the same publisher as a bunch of these other ones that I've mentioned. And, I have other books, Singulars. You've Got Red on You about the making of Shaun of the Dead. The Seeking Perfection about making the Tremors movies. There was a huge hole, though, a big gap in the books, in all of these books. And you may have noticed it. You may have noticed what I did not talk about. And so I decided it was time, because this is a rather expensive book. But I decided it was time to fill that gap, to get the book about my favorite slasher series. And so I picked up, or I ordered, it just came in today, only took a day, this big honkin' book. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Crystal Lake Memories. Shiny, the complete history of Friday the 13th. And this does say something about 11 movies. Around the world. Yeah, 11 films. His long-running exploits spanning 11 films. So they must talk about all 11 films, I would think. I mean, not necessarily, because the dust jacket could have been printed at any time. But anyway, there you go. Giant book. Very heavy. I can barely hold it with one hand. Maybe I'm just weak. But now I have the definitive book about the making of the Friday the 13th movies. Over 200, now for the first time and in their own words, over 200 alumni of the series recall a quarter century's worth of never before told tales, filled with all the backstage stories, struggles, and controversies behind the on-screen mayhem. This candid and exhaustive history takes you inside the record-breaking franchise like no other book ever has. So very excited to read this. Man, once I finish the Stephen King book, I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. I should probably read a bunch of small stuff, because I'm running out of video reviews to put up. So usually when that happens, I read a bunch of novellas and quick things so that I can stockpile some reviews to put on my channel before I dive into something honking big like this. But I am excited to finally read that book. And you know what? I think that is all I have. I cannot think of anything else that's gone on this week. It was go to work and come home and read, and go to work and come home and read. And that's about what I've been doing. So what about you? How has your week been? let me know in the comments below. That's all. That's really all I've got. Um, oh, and I'll just throw out there, just in case, this calendar game, Cthulhu calendar game that I got. There is a Dungeons and Dragons version of it as well. If there's any big D&D fans out there, you can get yourselves a D&D version of that thing. All right, that's it. Yeah, if you have any comments, questions, corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Blue Sky in the description below. And again, that's all I've got for you this time. So until next time, read more books.